Welcome back, everyone. I'm here to share NBA picks and player props today, Wednesday, January 29th. It's My Guy Knows a Guy here on my sports betting predictions channel. Let's continue. We weren't able to get off the ground with the pick that I shared in yesterday's video because Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors was ruled out before they played the Utah Jazz last night. If you watched yesterday's video, you know that the only NBA pick that I shared was Steph Curry over 24.5 points. And I have to admit, I was pretty shocked that he didn't play. He wasn't listed on the injury report in any form until about 7 p.m. Eastern. That's when the Warriors announced that they're resting Steph Curry for load management on the front end of a back-to-back. They play again today against the OKC Thunder. Steph is 37 years old. He's getting up there in age. I definitely understand the decision. And the team probably calculated that they could beat the Utah Jazz without Steph Curry last night, especially since Lauri Markkanen of the Jazz was ruled out earlier in the day. I'm still 8-2 in the NBA since Friday. I'm sharing a couple of NBA picks in today's video, so make sure you watch until the very end. And also leave a comment below. It can be about tonight's NBA games or anything you'd like. I'll try my best to reply before the games start tonight. Every interaction helps me grow my channel. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're not subbed. Let's get to my NBA picks for today. My first pick comes in the matchup between the Dallas Mavericks and the New Orleans Pelicans. The Mavs are coming off of a big blowout win against the Washington Wizards, the worst team in the league. Kyrie Irving was below average on the offensive side of things in that game, but the Mavs were still able to win by margin because of a huge performance from Klay Thompson. I think he had 7 threes in the first quarter. He definitely broke out of a mini shooting slump. The injuries are starting to pile up for the Mavs. We all know that Luka Doncic has been out for an extended period of time, but their front court depth has taken a major hit recently. Derek Lively is going to be out for an extended period of time, and they recently received news that Maxi Kleber will also be out for a while. This is a team that was in the NBA Finals last year, but with a much shorter rotation, they're just trying to stay afloat right now. As for the Pelicans, they had a terrible start to the season due to a multitude of injuries, including the always mysterious absence of Zion Williamson. But as Zion returned to the lineup, as well as a few other players, this Pelicans team really started to improve their level of play. Although it seemed like they were turning the corner recently, they're now on a 4-game losing streak. The accuracy of their three-point shooting has dropped, and they haven't been shooting the ball well from the free throw line, although they've been getting to the free throw line at a very high rate. These two teams played each other about 2 weeks ago, a game in which the Pelicans won by 2 points in a very high-scoring affair. But we can't forget that Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson didn't play for the Mavs in that game, and Zion didn't play for the Pelicans either. I know the Mavericks have been playing a bit better recently, but they haven't been able to get on a consistent stretch since Christmas Day. The Mavs have only won back-to-back games once since December 25th, and they've also lost 6 of their last 7 games on the road. Even though the Pelicans have been allowing a lot of points recently, they've still been forcing their opponents to turn the ball over at a pretty high rate. More often than not, this has led to a lot of high-quality transition offensive opportunities for the Pelicans. It's also worth noting that the Mavericks' transition defense has been pretty weak recently. The key matchup here is going to be Zion against that Mavericks front court that is severely lacking in depth, as I mentioned before. This is a very tight point spread, but I do think the wrong team could be favored here. My first pick in this video is the New Orleans Pelicans +1 at -108 odds to win 1 unit. I'm about to share another NBA pick in this video, but before I do that, I want to remind you to subscribe to my YouTube channel now if you're not subbed, and hit the like button for me. Help this video get at least 75 likes before the games tip off tonight. And take a second to leave a comment below. It can be about anything. While you're here, turn notifications on so you don't miss any of my upcoming picks videos. Let's get to my second pick. My next NBA pick comes in the matchup between the Chicago Bulls and the Boston Celtics. These are two teams that have been highly inconsistent against the spread over the last 2 months or so. The Boston Celtics in particular have been playing alarmingly average basketball. They're only playing 500 basketball over the last 60 days or so. They've looked really complacent at times. As for the Bulls, people didn't really have high expectations for Chicago heading into this season, but at one point it seemed like the Bulls were exceeding those expectations. But for the most part, the Bulls have been playing terrible defense this season. The play that I'm focusing on in this game is a player prop. I'm running it back with Jayson Tatum of the Celtics. Tatum is in a bit of a slump right now, but he has a clear matchup edge against the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls play at a very high pace, and even though the Celtics have been average recently, they're still forcing a lot of turnovers. The Celtics' last game was against the Houston Rockets, a game in which they lost on their home floor, and the slow offensive start from Jayson Tatum really contributed to that loss. He had 0 points at halftime, but by the end of the game, he finished with 19 points, He was much more aggressive in the second half of the game. He went 8 for 8 from the free throw line in the second half alone. And I think the aggressive mindset that he showed in the second half of that game against the Rockets will carry over into this game against the Bulls. There's always a chance that the Celtics will overlook the Bulls in today's game because Zach LaVine will not be in the lineup. But from an individual standpoint, I think Jayson Tatum will have to set the tone offensively early in this game. My second pick in today's video is Jayson Tatum of the Boston Celtics to go over 25.5 points at -115 odds to win 1 unit. I'm sending 3 or 4 more NBA picks and player props for today to my frenzyforecast.com newsletter readers. If you're interested in receiving all of my picks and player props across every sport that I cover all year long, join the VIP service on my website, frenzyforecast.com. The link to join is in the video description below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel now, hit the like button for me, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my upcoming NBA predictions videos. It's Myguyknowsaguy here on my sports predictions channel. Best of luck with all of your plays today. I'll see you next time.